Welcome back to Terrific Taste. On the menu today, curry vegetable stew. We're going to start off by simply unbagging our already processed vegetables. We have our cauliflower that's already been taken off the stalk and our broccoli that's already been taken off the stalk as well. We're just going to simply add those to a mixing bowl and get straight to prepping the other vegetables. First, you're going to see, as I say, always, if you don't have the tools with you, you can always improvise. Very sharp knife. I'm just going to peel my carrots really carefully with my knife. Careful when you do this. I'd save those for stock, for the vegetable stock later on, but that's what I would do. I don't throw them away. I just save the peels for a nice vegetable stock, or even for stock for chicken stock or beef stock, any stock. It's my base, your mirepoix. Remember, 2 parts onions, 1 half part carrots, 1/2 part celery. That's your mirepoix. But anyway, back to this. I'm just going to roughly chop these and add them to that same pot of vegetables, the same mixing bowl of vegetables that I have waiting now. Next, you're going to see me quickly just chop, and I only use 3 little bits of garlic in this. I didn't want to go garlic heavy because we're already using curry, and that's pretty overwhelming spice. So I don't want too many things going on at the same time. It ends up tasting kind of floral to me when it's got too many spices and too many other things added. Garlic's a pretty hard taste, so is curry. So I kind of wanted to chill with the garlic. Now you're just going to see me peel and chop my onions. I'm going to add that to the same mixing bowl. Now you're going to see me throw my oregano into my vegetable mixture. I'm adding my oil, so all those things adhere to the vegetables. I'm adding a little paprika, and finally you're going to see me add my curry to the vegetables. I'm just going to take this with my hands, mix it around, massage it into the vegetables. And then you're going to see me put these on parchment paper, put them in an oven at 350 degrees. I'm going to cook them for 20 to 30 minutes. Again, I don't like my vegetables ridiculously soft. If you do, you want to cook them a little longer until your desired level of softness that you want. Remember, you're going to put them in the stew later. So keep that in mind. They are going to cook a little in the stew. Not long, maybe 10, 15 minutes at most in the stew. But again, they're just going to be oven cooked already. That essence of curry, a little bit of garlic, all those other things you put in there is all going to be in those vegetables. So that's going to carry your the flavors of your vegetables and differentiate them from the stew, from the liquid part of your dish. Now they're coming out of the oven. I'm just going to set these aside while I go straight to making my base for my soup. That's my vegetable stock. I'm throwing my vegetables right in. It's already been heating for a little while. I'm throwing them right in. I'm just going to let them those flowers develop in that pan for a little while. That's at about 10-15 minutes of this. You're going to see me go straight to my curry, my herbs first, and then my bay leaf. I'm always adding a bay leaf. I will take that out. And then I'm going to add my curry to this, just so you get to taste the curry in the stew part itself. What you'll see me do next is optional. You could let this cook, and that would be a perfectly good soup. It wouldn't be a stew because it's not thick enough to be a stew. But if you wanted to eat it as this soup, which would be perfectly fine, it's awesome. If you're vegan, you definitely want to go this route. Because when I do my stew, I'm going to add a roux, which then requires me to add flour and butter. There's other ways of doing it where I could use some vegan butter or something else, but in this case, we're just going to go the regular way. And you'll see that process coming up next. Now, here's the part we were talking about earlier. This is me making my roux. The camera's really close, so that butter is not as it's not as much butter as you think. And I'm actually, whenever I make my roux, I make enough for a couple of applications, not just one. So I'm gonna add my butter. I'm gonna let my butter melt halfway down, and then I'm gonna go right into the flour. The flour is what's gonna make it the roux. So this is also a thickening agent. You could add other things to thicken it as well. See me add the flour, and now I'm just gonna go straight in and whisk. I don't want this over high heat because then it'll start to burn. I kind of want it to darken a little bit and get myself a blonde roux, which just is a little darker than the regular, just to give it some character. You'll see me add a little more butter, and then I'll add a little more flour. And then I'm gonna pull this, and then you'll see me mix this in with the soup in order to make my stew. Again, this is optional, which is what I put on the writing down here. It's always optional. You could stop at the soup if you wished. I tend to like mine a little thicker, add a little stew to it. So that's me scooping it out. And now I'm just gonna go straight in that same pan with my soup, because that's gonna help me. That thickening in the bottom is gonna help me. I'm gonna scrape the bottom of this to get that roux off the bottom. And then I'm gonna add just a touch of what with the roux that I added in that little bowl to thicken it a little more. And then I'm just gonna let it mellow out on a semi-heated stove top to give it that desired thickness that I want. And then we're gonna just wait, hurry up and wait as usual, let those flavors develop. And then the next thing you'll see me do is add a couple more spices to it. That's just paprika. And again, that's smoked paprika, so it gives a little smoky taste to it as well. And ultimately, you're gonna see me bowl this up, and we're gonna plate this. You would serve this with, I would serve this with a piece of pita bread, or a nice crusty bit of bread if I had it. That's the only way I do it. It doesn't require bread at all. I just like dipping. I always like dipping my stews with a little piece of bread. Pita bread would be perfect, like I said, for this. You don't have pita bread, you can use any kind of bread that you have. If you have the crusty bread, the farmhouse bread is always delicious with this as well. And here you have it. The plating would be simply, like I said, put it in a bowl, and that's it. Curry vegetable stew, delicious any time of the year. Once again, this is Chef Mark saying thank you for joining us today. Always remember, help someone. It's a good feeling. It's terrific.